Mentally morbid.
This podcast represents the opinions of the speakers and guests to the show. By listening to this podcast or reading any content posted or shared by the Mentally Morbid creators, you agree not to use this podcast or blog as psychological advice. The content should not be used in lieu of medical or psychological advice or any legal capacity whatsoever, including but not limited to establishing standard of care. The content here is for entertainment and educational purposes only. No guarantee is given regarding the accuracy of any statements or opinions made on the podcast or blog. Please consult healthcare professionals for any medical or psychological care.
So after 15 technical errors, we are back on our 5th episode of Mentally Morbid.
27.
27 years later, we're going to actually produce an episode.
We do not have good enough anything to use anything other than the system.
We're not good enough at work.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Fine. So we were sharing what we were watching. Kinsey, recap. Devil in Ohio. Don't tell any details. It looks really good.
I'm going to start all over, and I'm going to use a rating system because Kayla has inspired me. So, hello, listeners. I have been quarantined for 7 days, so I have a lot of updates on TV shows out in the world because I haven't done anything else. I lost my voice for several days, and I have now forced Annie to be the host for this week because I was worried I wouldn't get through an hour telling a story, and I want my first story to really knock your socks off.
Yeah.
So Devil in Ohio, I would say 3.5 stars out of 5. Very interesting. Could have been scarier. Then I watched everything on The Act. I would say 3 out of 5 stars. Very slow, but fascinating.
I don't think we should use 5 stars.
1
7
star.
stars?
1 or 0. All or nothing.
1 to 4. Because remember, Kinsey, a 5-point Likert scale gives people a middle ground. And you literally just middled as much as you can middle.
Right,
5 stars.
Right.
No.
So fuck it or
4.
leave it. Got it. Okay, so Devil in Ohio, I would what is the other one? The Act, I would fuck again, but she wouldn't be top on my list. And then I watched Scream Queens, and 100% thumbs up. 4 stars. Scream Queens is everything I want in life. Scream Queens is a parody between every sorority movie you've ever watched and the Scream movies, and it was hilarious. I just started season 2, not as good, but I would watch season 1 over again. Season 1 was fantastic. For our listeners,
how many episodes are in these seasons?
Oh, I've watched a lot of TV, Annie.
Yeah.
I have done nothing but watch TV for several days.
It was an innocent question.
It's a lot. I've watched probably 15 hours of TV since you saw me last.
As a sorority girl yourself, were you offended?
Right. That's what I was just about to say. Listeners, please be aware. I am a proud Alpha Gamma Delta, 4 years and an alumni, and I loved everything about it. Scream Queens is everything.
Hates herself, loves a sorority.
Everything I wanted to be in a sorority, except for I don't have any of the means to be that. I'm not rich or beautiful or hot.
Like I said, hates herself, loves the sorority. It's so sad.
God, can you please say something nice about yourself?
Quick, name one nice thing, one positive.
If you watch Scream Queens, you would understand. They are the hottest and the richest.
If that was a picture that you sent us, she was not that great.
Wait,
was that it?
You sent us.
No, that was something else she sent. That was a reality TV show.
Oh no, not that. That I also watched all of Dated and Related. You're right. I forgot about that one. I watched so much TV. I would leave it. I would say, what's it called? Love Island is better. So I've watched pretty much everything.
The only trash TV I've watched is Love is Blind.
Season 1 was also better there.
I just remembered I have a lot of Below Deck to watch.
So if you need any recommendations on any TV shows, here I am.
Any TV shows that involve very female-oriented themes or reality trash TV, right? Except for Devil in Ohio. That one's kind of an outlier there.
I love a spooky show. And it was about
I-
a cult. I love a cult.
I love a cult. Can we please somebody talk about cults, please?
Right,
I
it was
think
so
we
interesting.
create one.
It
I
seems a little
still
early.
claim high priestess of something. Maybe I'll be like the treasurer.
I want to be the voodoo witch doctor. I'm going to put leeches on everybody and tell them that's going to cure their pain.
Why leeches?
That's going to cure their problems, Kayla. Don't mess with the voodoo witch doctor.
No, I'm scared of how quickly we're morphing into a role in this make-believe hypothetical cult. There's dangerous ground here.
It's
But I think we all do
ready.
have two ready.
Annie,
There's
you're-
two ready sometimes.
Annie, you're the king. I want to be your first wife.
I'm in. 100%. Give me the damn crown. I am in. I will be the most beautiful, worst king there. I will be worse than Henry the Sixth. 16th? 6th?
How many
Is that
Henrys
the
are there?
Which one killed Anne Boleyn, though?
Don't know.
This is a good time for our disclaimer, right? Can we also add in historical facts? Please do not listen to us about historical facts or form any opinions based off of our non-historical facts.
I'm a walking encyclopedia, baby. Ask me anything. I won't be accurate. I will be.
Yeah, but you're like the parts of the encyclopedia that were kicked out because they were wrong. That's you.
I'm the edited out.
Edited out. Kayla, what were you watching and or reading and or listening to?
I watched I still don't know the name.
I had so much time.
I think it's called I Just Killed My Father or I Just Killed My Dad.
I just killed my dad. I haven't even watched the show. You need to be better at this.
Listen, I just forget.
How can I know what to watch if you don't tell me what the name of it is?
I Just Killed My Dad, and it
You hold
is.
your food.
I had to sing, and was really good. How many stars did I give it last time?
Okay, but fuck it.
I Just Killed My Dad. I looked it up.
I'd fuck it.
What is it?
That's a weird one to say that too.
Marry, kill,
bang, marry.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
so you would.
Is something I would marry. Can
I
you
can't see what that is. No,
it's
bright.
so bright. Yeah, maybe if you put two hands behind it. Original orangutan teeth.
It's called Orangutan Teeth, and it's a poetry book by a guy I found on TikTok. I read the whole thing in a day. So good. I was like on the verge of tears because it was just like, I would marry this book. I'm going to read it again. It actually has its own little easel on my bookshelf.
Okay,
Anyway.
I'll add it to my Amazon cart.
So, read that.
Can you just read it to me?
Do you want me to read you a poem?
No. The book.
Oh, that's a much bigger book.
So you would marry that one. And what about kill?
When I take orangutan teeth, all I get is stuffed orangutans.
I know. I'll have to send you a link because for some reason it's just hard to find. Either way,
put it on the website.
My kill is the book My Daddy's a Hero, which was the Chris Watts book told by a psychotherapist. I gave it 3 stars because it's very biased and she just kind of goes off on her own little opinionated tangents. Not a fan of that. I was really trying to read it for the facts and I don't know. It was very biased. And she repeated herself a lot. If you're listening, you're not. But if you were, do better.
We can send this to her.
I'll send it to her.
Do better.
I'm sure she's going to care.
Oh, no, she won't. Let me tell you.
So I started a new book. I feel like I need to get more into fiction because otherwise I'm just going to have really boring, because I know how boring I sound. I started a book this week about why humanity is actually more positive and kind than we give it credit for.
Are you sure you know how boring you sound?
I know. I don't remember what it's called. I'll bring it next time and I'll show the cover. But it basically goes through, like, one of the things I'm going to talk about today is from this book. It's a different perspective. Like, it even goes through different studies and research and what, like, the positive perspectives. Like when we look at Milgram's study with obedience and all, or is it no, it was Zimbardo's study. It talks about who actually, okay, we'll talk about it. Anyways, it's a book on the positives. I would marry this book. It's actually really interesting. Anyways, moving on.
Okay. Did you watch anything?
Bang. No, bang. Not fuck. Bang.
Bang.
Yes. Well, yeah. I would kill this last week's episode of Rings of Power. It was boring. I actually graded papers during it. So sorry to the students who got the lower scores because I got more bored.
Oh God.
Thank Rings of Power. Bang, though. Kayla, you know where I'm about to go with this.
I sure do.
A court
of. Yes.
Oh my God. What's the acronym? What is this one? We flames and a court. What is it?
A
Silver
court of
flame. Thank
flames.
you.
Oh my God. Go.
Tell me. So I'm at the section where essentially somebody pours their heart out. I'm not going to give any details, but I am in love with everybody in the book. Yeah. I'm in a polyamorous relationship with all of these characters.
Do you take it back what you said?
I love her.
Okay.
What did you
when she walked out, and I know Kayla
Kinsey absolutely hated one of the characters and she couldn't get into it. She actually put off reading this book because she hated her so much. And I said,
and I'm her.
Just go. Yeah, you are her.
I really am her, especially in my earlier years. Sorry, Kinsey, go ahead.
You already hate her? Are there multiple series of this?
I have all of them. You want to see?
Oh my. I don't know anything about this, readers. It's Scut. Not my thing.
It's so good. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Those are so big.
Why is she so ready?
I love
It's like she waits for people to come and ask this.
I do. I do. These are yep. Bang for sure. Bang.
Yeah.
Why are you
I say bang.
Where did you get those from?
In her back pocket.
I just keep them in my back pocket.
Well, I say bang because it's just so smutty. Like, I don't even want to marry it. Like, I feel like too much commitment makes it nice and sweet. And this is smut and I like it. But anyways.
It's so good.
Kinsey, that's my bang.
If you ever read a book, if you ever remember how to read a book.
Right. I haven't read a book in so long. If it's not dissertation, it's not me. I only decompress and depersonalize by watching TV. That is my thing. Hello, TV. Hey. I love you.
Did I tell you guys I went to a play therapy conference this weekend?
Yeah. Multiple times.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good.
We should ask you about that.
No, it's fine. You don't have to ask. I'll just
tell you.
I
honestly forgot you did tell us play therapy. And when you kept saying conference, I kept going into my head, what conference is she at? But I ran out of time to ask it.
I never asked. Not once did she ask.
I don't know what to say. I have no excuse. Bad friend.
It was good.
Be more interesting.
Literally played the whole time.
We need to be more interesting.
Can you say the name of the book that you read this week? The one.
We need to
read that again.
Positive perspective of people.
Yes, the intriguing Amy.
The PPP. Please proceed to tell us about the children that you played with.
That's what I love about play therapy, though. It's so fun to learn. It's so relaxing.
We played with scribbles and stickers and pipe cleaners and
cotton balls and balloons.
Yeah, we played with balloons. And we learned how to integrate all of that stuff into therapy. I learned about how to bring in Roblox and RuneScape and freaking all the different video games you can bring into therapy. It's really great.
Those are the kind of things that make my soul leave.
Every single time I've ever
therapy's not for you.
So fun. Those are always that I go to at AMFT. So fun.
More interesting than children.
Oh God.
Well, I don't like children.
Better than children is aliens.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow, what a segue.
What a segue. Don't like children, love aliens.
Okay.
We can have another segue. Children are disgusting, aliens are not.
Kinsey blew her nose 10 seconds before we started this, so she's more disgusting than both. I said
also as disgusting as the children.
COVID.
Yes, COVID. So, aliens. So, obviously, or maybe not so obviously, maybe some of our listeners are going to think that aliens are already here. And you know what? I'm all for that. Think they're already here. That's okay. You do you, right?
Okay, 100%. And I just saw
Jesus Christ. Here we go.
The FBI just posted that they can't release more information about aliens because it will just cause a scene. They know things.
Yes.
They know things.
Exactly. Okay, good. So we all agree. So what we'll talk about today, aliens, and how if we encounter aliens, that there are many psychologists who have viewpoints on what we would do, how we would react. They've actually done studies on how we would respond if aliens come to the earth, or if we...
Hold on. My robot vacuum is humping a blanket.
Oh, we have to include that on the preview for the show. That's it right there.
Hold on. Say it again. What happened?
My robot vacuum is humping a blanket.
So speaking of bang, marry, kill.
Be free.
Must be
bang, marry.
Rich.
That was a gift.
Aliens.
Okay, aliens, go. Focus.
Okay, but aliens or extraterrestrials, I think we should talk about that first, because Demi Lovato doesn't think that we should use the term aliens because it's offensive to the aliens.
Did you just make that up, or did they actually say that?
Can't even figure out their own pronouns. I don't care about.
I don't know what to say. She says, I did not make this up. This came out like 6-ish months ago when she was they. Shit, I don't know. That's what they're saying now.
I think
when they came out,
I'm pretty sure.
Oh wait,
I don't know. Let's go with they. Let's go with they for now. I feel like they is a good middle ground. Yeah. When they said that they were coming out as they also started to talk, and they went really, really far with it of I guess shouldering the burden of speaking out for different groups, aliens being one of them. Right now, if we use aliens, we're talking about illegal aliens. I'm all down for that term being.
Is that a conversation that actually happened with Demi?
Yes.
Okay.
She's quoted. They were quoted.
Some brain issues from that overdose. I don't know.
Oh,
I am not saying that we should listen to these comments. What I am saying is that there's two different words we can use. So we have extraterrestrials and we have aliens. I'm going to use aliens. Unless the alien comes and tells me that it's offensive, I'm going to go with maybe it's just not. Maybe it's just what we call them because they're not of this earth.
I like E.T. because it reminds me of that Katy Perry song.
Oh, not the alien named E.T. with the Reese's?
Nope, Katy Perry.
Did you watch E.T.? I feel like you would want one.
I've seen most of E.T. That was a movie I definitely watched as a child and fell asleep during.
Annie would want one for sure.
An E.T.?
Yeah.
I don't like the pot belly.
Oh, but
he's kind of chunky.
But so cute.
And Scream Queens, they refer to that as a poo belly.
Oh no.
You have a poo belly.
I don't feel like anybody can quite digress the way that we can.
What do you mean? We've barely gotten there. I can keep digressing. What else do you want to
I'm going to be honest with you. I actually haven't even gotten to the first line yet.
Aliens!
So, I mean, we're 20 minutes in. So what? It's not even a big deal. It's fine.
I think this is why people are here, to hear about my thoughts.
Kinsey, I don't even think your therapist is what they're there for.
I did have to cancel on Kim, so she is having a nice week off this week because COVID.
That's why, yes.
Relaxing.
So, how do we perceive aliens? So, if I said aliens were coming to the Earth, what do y'all think? How would you perceive aliens? Would it be good? Would it be bad?
They're here.
I think there would be major panic, and I don't know at this point in my life, if I would care.
It's just another Tuesday for me.
I am kind of curious. Maybe that's why I haven't found my husband yet. Maybe he is alien.
They're not in the sea because they're not of the earth. And how can they be in the sea if they're not on the earth? Right?
That was
He's
a
just
hint.
kidding.
That was a hint to all the listeners. Kinsey Pochio is single AF. Holla.
Single Pringle. That would be my new hashtag.
Oh no.
There's a whole separate disclaimer for that part, though, Kinsey.
You're not allowed to see me if you listen to the podcast. Sorry.
No, that's not the disclaimer. The disclaimer is for them, to protect them, not to protect you.
Yeah.
Kinsey Pochio is in fact an alien.
Pochio Pinocchio. So these people being Brandon seen. So this is coming from a psychological research, Frontier Psychology, right? So that's the journal. So they're going to do a study and want to understand if somebody is out there, how would people actually react to it? So there's multiple studies that I'm pulling from. I'll just kind of list a few specifically because I'll talk a lot from there. But this first one, they actually do 3 different kinds of studies. They do a pilot study.
There she goes. The tissue is out.
Oh, she muted herself.
I did, aren't I?
Snot rag, snot rag, snot rag. Keep
No,
going.
it's all good. You just, pilot study. So they do, they just want to understand how people actually talk about it on media coverage. So they pull in all kind of quantitative analysis. They're looking at the different words that people are using, basically trying to confirm if they use a positive or negative bias in their language. Then the second part of the study is that they actually have individual reactions and those of humanity. So they're asking people to predict how they would respond if aliens came to Earth. So if they started to announce on this media coverage that aliens are here, what would you do? How would you react? And how do you think other people would react? The third one is they actually showed people media coverage where life is already here. So Kinsey, that would be you. If you already believe that life is here, how are you responding? So for some reason, people said that it would actually react positively, so that they would believe that it is a good thing. Hi, Nix. That it is a good thing that aliens are here.
Of course.
Why
But
would
yet,
that be a good thing? Why? What?
right, they're saying that they would positively react. So it would be a good thing, and they would just be like, hi.
We have a guest.
There's no way.
And
Hello,
that
Coco.
humanity, but yet for the individuals, what they said is that humanity as a whole would negatively react.
Oh,
What
so
do you-
they're saying I'm okay, but no one else is okay.
It says a lot about people, right?
Oh man.
But here's my thought. Currently, we're being joined by one of Kayla's mini feline friends. One of her mini cats, because she is a crazy cat lady. And what if cats, in fact, aliens, and Nix is here because Nix knows that we're talking about its kind.
That would explain a lot about her behaviors, honestly.
Alien.
So how are we responding? Is it a reward? Is it a problem? Are we at risk? Death.
Yeah. We're
I
at
think
risk.
we should let the aliens take over, honestly. Okay.
How bad can it get?
Viewers, I'm sorry, this is definitely going to show that I'm a Democrat, but how much worse could it get?
Why sorry? Why sorry?
I don't know. Maybe they don't like that about me, but we had a Cheeto as president. How much worse could get?
Well, you know what's interesting is y'all talked about the FBI not releasing anything else because they think that it's going to cause problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
They already said this in 1953. So 1953, the Durant report came out and said that they, reporting on possible or alleged alien activity could result in a greater probability of hostility due to creating hysteria. And honestly, I don't even know why they said that. It's not like people panicked by listening to a radio station about H.G. Wells' stories.
Right. I've never seen that happen before.
No,
yeah, right.
I always had toilet paper in 2020. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't have faith in 1953. Makes no sense.
Also, the aliens are getting really tired of waiting on us to be ready for them.
Well, Douglas Vaycock.
Whoop.
Oh,
there it is. She brought it in somehow. She's got to get it in there somehow.
Vaycock. If I said Vakoch, you would say
I just like that.
The coach.
You only chose this story so you could say that name. I know it.
I can just say, right? Can we say that? Is this NC-17?
It's our podcast.
What is our rating, anyways?
What is our rating?
M for mature.
R like a pirate.
So, Mr. Douglas.
You thought this was going to be a G-rated podcast?
I didn't know it was going to be outlawed and censored.
I remember when Annie said she wasn't going to cuss on the podcast.
She did.
I'm just hoping that we edit that out.
No.
Well, I'm editing, so good luck.
So, psychologists, listen, guys, here's another way that we can use our degree, and here's another job that I can aspire into. Psychologist. I'm going to go for this job. Douglas, the coach.
Interpreter.
No, he is a psychologist for aliens, though.
Alien liaison. I love it.
So if intelligent extraterrestrial life exists, because we're using the politically correct word here, this psychologist might design humanity's introductory message. So we already have somebody who has like a message ready depending on who we're talking to. That is a job. Yes, I knew there'd be questions.
He's getting... This is his career, whether or not the aliens. So supposedly the aliens don't exist. What
he works for in a place in California called SETI. It stands for something. Google it. SETI, and essentially they research and explore the different aspects of extraterrestrial life and communicating with them. They explore space. I don't know, extraterrestrial life at least.
Hold on. You mean that I can make shit up and get paid for it?
Don't we kind of? No, we don't do that anyways, right?
No, never. I've never made anything up in my life.
So, moving on. So yes, so we have the Durant report, right? The Durant report is going to say.
Can we? Hold on, I do have the message. Is it in English or is it in like numbers?
That is where, so the coach and other supporters are going to say, we need to go ahead and start branching out. Because right now, apparently, this might be a bit dated because this came out in 2019. So this could be different now, especially with recently, like the space division of the military and all.
How dare you provide me with old information?
This is more up to date than most of our research papers would have. Let's not lie.
How dare.
From now on, we'll have a minimum, or maximum 2 years difference.
No, 6 weeks.
I'm only pulling stories from the 20s.
Okay, so 2019 this is, but according to him, we are basically waiting for them to contact us. So we're being a bit passive about it. So we're basically saying, if we respond, this is how, or if they talk to us, this is how we would respond. But he's pushing for, and him and his supporters are pushing to actually contact them, to send out radio signals, whatever, to contact them.
So you're providing me with information last decade. What's the information from this decade?
Well, we have a poll that was completed on how people believe that they would respond, and they wanted to understand kind of what would shape the response. So this goes into also a bit of psychology about humans. So Albert Harrison, he's going to do a poll, and he wants to understand, pandemonium, equanimity, and delight. So how would humans respond to extraterrestrial life? And so he does basically just that typical survey. Well, it's mixed. So people still say that they would have a positive response, but there's a big but there.
Everyone would be scared as shit. What do you mean?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm an alien hunter. I also really want to be a tornado hunter.
No, Kinsey, you would die. You know, talking loud and screaming isn't actually gonna help.
Tornado is not gonna find me because I'm talking loud.
I'm not saying it's gonna find you, but I'm saying it's not gonna chase your ass either.
She wasn't saying it's gonna chase you down.
The tornado's coming.
It's a sentient tornado.
Okay, so going back. So don't forget, we have two different forms, right? So we have intelligent forms of life, which is like us. We are supposedly an intelligent form of life, people.
Don't tell me the aliens are not intelligent.
And then we have the microbial alien life. So this is not your intelligent life. This is cells and nuclei and things, plants. I don't know, microbial.
Golgi bodies.
Golgi bodies.
The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
And the hippocampus is the mitochondria of the brain.
The first shirt I'm putting on our website is an alien shirt.
Perfect.
That's a good one.
But pink.
Team Alien. It'd be like
Team
Jacob.
And blowing bubble gum. Ah!
Team Alien.
Annie, what were you saying? I'm so sorry.
Podcast is getting off topic.
I feel like we're all going to develop a theme. I'm going to be the one that just kind of keeps saying, so going back to it. That's going to be a screen. From now on, that's a screen that comes up. And going back to it. So, going back to it. No. I'm taking it. The focus llama.
Focus box. But good try.
I saw a focus fish on therapist aid today.
What is the focus fish?
I don't fucking know. I just saw it. I didn't focus.
Okay, good talk.
Yeah, so speaking of focus, so we have two different forms. We have intelligent life and we have microbial life, right? Now, I'm pretty sure that if alien microbial life, if they reported that on the media, I'd be like, next, right? Okay, so some bacteria came from Mars. Who gives a shit? Some people are going to really give a lot of shits. I am not even going to read the article. I'm just going to go, oh, okay, cool. I probably won't even like it. Right? But imagine that they were like, hey, this alien that looks like a teddy bear has shown up to Earth.
A teddy bear? I love it.
The level of excitement could not be contained.
So this is really dependent on how cute the alien is.
Exactly. So yes.
Looks like John Stamos.
So consider how. Go ahead.
What did you just say?
I said, what if the alien looks like John Stamos, who is also in Scream Queens, going back to the TV show I'm watching this week.
I knew there was going to be a link.
I thought you said Thanos, which is a Marvel character.
Which would be scary because he's really big.
He's an alien, though.
And big. Well, so is Thor.
You heard what you wanted to hear.
But that's the thing. So they talk about basically in this poll, some of the information that came out is the interplay of the characteristics between like how they look, how they sound, do they look human-like? So they talked about like comparing teddy bears and spiders bears, not teddy bears. Bears and spiders. Bears are much scarier than teddy bears. Sometimes, I don't know, they're really cute, right? I think they're really cute. But that when you see a spider, that it's much scarier, they say, because it is not a part of like the mammals. We're mammals, right?
Yes. We're mammals.
Okay, right.
We're mammals, bears mammals. Spiders? No.
Spiders are arachnids. Yeah, I know. So genus species.
He doesn't know.
Sometimes you just got to Google things, because you thought you knew and then you don't.
Spiders lay eggs. And in the phone game that I'm playing right now, very hard to kill the spider eggs.
Right now?
Now. She's playing while we're talking because she doesn't like it anymore.
No, just in general, my current phone game.
So spiders and bears, right? So they say that bears basically we find cuter because they're mammals and they're closer to us than spiders are, but spiders are scary because they're farther from us. But they're also furry, and then they have babies that are much cuter. Like baby spiders are cute. With the little eyeballs, they're little tiny eyeballs.
Than the spider scene in Harry Potter. Can we talk about that? Where they go in the forest and there's just fucking spiders everywhere? Oh, my skin is crawling.
I like the little jumping spiders with the little fuzzy hands, and they're like. For everybody who's just listening, I'm doing like a little weird.
What Harry Potter does in the scene with the professor and Hagrid.
Flies do this though.
Flies and creepy men—they're all the same. So yes, okay. So essentially what will they look like is very influential of how we would respond. So they even talk about like, will they look godlike or demonic? So then we're also pulling in how we see other images so that if they look like the things that we call demons, that we're going to automatically associate them with demons, right? Because do we know what the psychological term is that talks about how we associate different words and their meanings?
Yep, I sure do.
I can't
I
remember
know the word
word.
for that.
Come on, there's 3 different words we could talk about here.
Assimilation.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes!
That's one of them.
I don't have anything. There's
That's the middle part. It starts with an S. Come on, guys. We know this.
Systemic families.
You're absolutely incorrect. And that's 0. Kinsey, you got a 30%. Schemas.
I knew
Assimilation and then accommodation. So we develop a schema, which is basically where we understand kind of the rules of that word and what it means. And then we assimilate the information into our brain. Accommodation is when we begin to change it. And so like the horse, we know that a horse and dog are different because stuff. There are some differences, right?
At least 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big difference. So yeah, so essentially how we relate to them will be determined by how they look. But the other part, so here's where I told you that the book's going to come back in, right? The book that I was listening to.
A Court of Thorns and Roses?
No, the boring one.
Oh.
Yeah, the boring one.
You told me the book was coming back in.
See, remember that meme that I sent you guys earlier when I was like, nobody is more surprised than a husband listening to his wife's plans for the second time?
Yeah.
This is what it's like talking to each of you sometimes.
I like it.
Yes, it's perfect. So, does anybody know the name Muzaffar Sharif? Does anybody, hi Copper, does anybody remember the cave robbers experiments?
Definitely not.
The cave robbers experiments?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
The boys. So, in the 1950s, Sharif is going to study basically intergroup conflict, right? So he wants to understand how 2 different groups operating around the same territory will interact with each other. So a lot of information is built off of this. This is why I'm bringing this in. So this is outgroups. So we believe, based off of these experiments, that 2 different groups who are operating in direct conflict will produce conflict. They won't get along.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Is it they, them?
They, them. Yes. So they other each other. So we have others. So this is also part of stigma research. So he's going to study that. But they have recently found in his notes where he creates conflict. So he actually threatened to punch his assistant if he did not manipulate the information. So if he did not go in and create conflict, he threatened to punch him. The guy had to hold up a piece of wood against this psychologist so that he wouldn't hit him.
Hey everyone, this is before ethics.
Exactly.
If you sign up for an experiment now, you won't have to defend yourself.
So they found in the end, the results say that like these groups had conflict, they didn't get along, like they actually had to call it off because the boys at the end of it were threatening to kill each other with knives.
So it's like the Lord of the Flies.
Like the Lord of the Flies, yes. But before that all happened, they were actually getting along. He wanted them to go in and sow the seeds of discord so that they would not get along. Basically, it's a heavy example of experimenter bias, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is where a lot of information on outgroups comes from. So that it says we're not going to get along with people who don't look like us, who are not us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's false. Like it's manipulated information. So there's a little bit of information for you. What was that? What called?
What was this?
I'm pretty sure it's called the Cave Robbers Experiment. There's 2 different ones that he did the same thing in. The first one was not as public as the second one is. And I don't think I know the first one, the boys had both of them, they had no idea they were part of it. So obviously there's no informed consent. There was no risk information, just like the rest of the studies we talk about. But I bring this in to basically say we all believe that we're going to hate aliens, or that humanity is going to hate aliens because of our beliefs about other people and their others. But this is all just based off of manipulated data. So we actually might agree with the aliens. We might actually be, as a group, good to the aliens.
How do I become an alien?
You have to leave Earth.
Okay.
Wait, can you move out of Earth?
And still practice?
It's coming.
And then come back.
Have you heard of NASA? NASA.
NASA?
NASA?
I've heard Nassau.
Mm-hmm.
The Bahamas?
Yeah. So, lastly, the last part of this is alien abduction. So I also have information for you on the character. Yep, go ahead.
I volunteer. Take me.
Oh,
me.
oh, well, yeah. No. So the people who think they're abducted, they studied their psychological profiles and they found some very interesting commonalities. So
Schizophrenia.
I don't think you're going to be super surprised. They call them experiencers. First of all, these are the people who report contact with aliens, experiencers. I love the word. It's like an influencer. It's like if you go to Coachella, you're a Coachella experiencer.
The experiencer movement. That's the name of the show.
That's actually not the name of the show. The name of the show is
The name of the
More
episode-
Believe Minted.
Oh.
No. So these people, the experiencers, they show higher levels of dissociativity. So they blanking out a lot. Absorption. So being like overly in some hyper focus, essentially. Paranormal belief.
Yeah.
Yeah. And possibly fantasy proneness.
Hey, what's that?
Fantasy proneness, so that you are prone to being a part of fantasy. Now, I'm pretty sure it's just going to basically mean that you're more likely to fantasize, probably more likely to dissociate, have daydreams.
So,
can you dissociate for our listeners?
Say that again.
Please define dissociate for the listeners.
Yes. So dissociation, the example that we always give as therapists, because we can't come up with our own examples, is that if you're driving in a car and you've been driving for a while and you don't know how you got there, oh my gosh, that's an example of a lower level form of dissociation. Higher level is where you might blank out and not remember things.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember my drive home today, honestly.
That's just because you're busy.
Yeah.
Most people don't remember their drive homes.
Yeah.
Right. So dissociation and not remembering things is not exactly the same, but that's kind of a common way to describe it.
But see,
you're just kind of
I'm curious because they're not comparing them to how they were before their experience.
You know, that's an interesting point. I don't know if they controlled for that. I mean, let me see.
I don't think they have control for it, because how do you know someone's going to experience the alien? Huh?
Unless they've already done psychological profiles, but you would have to. I mean, because they did. Let's see, they used the Deese Roediger McDermott technique. So this is a specific studies. They would want to compare the same studies, unless they've had a psychological profile done, like maybe MMPI or like an evaluation. You would have no information to actually confirm.
Right. That's the only thing that I found. Like,
that's a good point. This other one did the big 5 personality factors, but I guess you could also argue that the aliens changed their personality.
What was the personality thing? That's it?
This was 433 participants who completed measures of extraterrestrial beliefs. So they also wanted to measure their ideas about the beliefs, the ideas about aliens. So they show schizotypy, superstitious ideation. Let's see, what were the big 5? Openness to experience. So they're all basically showing all those very unique factors that we might say they're a bit more neurotic, a bit more prone to psychosis. Hi, Copper.
Ooh, not during the podcast.
Bad boy.
He protect someone rattle door. Out there.
So yeah, so either aliens make you more prone to fantasy and a bit crazier and more prone to psychotic breaks. You might be more prone to alien exposure if you are fantasy prone dissociation. So who knows that aliens don't pick them out because they're that way.
Right.
Correlation, causation. We don't know.
Exactly.
The alien or the egg? We don't know.
Well, Kinsey, you're next on the list.
Kinsey's like, please, for the love of God, take me. Tornado, take me. Aliens, take me. Just take me.
This is a message to all our alien listeners. I'm ready.
Well, the sad part is I end us on a bit of darkness because we move into how we are xenophobic. And the last article that I found was going into how we would probably, based off of how we other people in our response to people who don't look like us and act like us, we would probably declare war on them and try to colonize. I don't think that's too far off from what I would suspect humanity to do, but
that's
who
exactly
knows?
what would happen.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I,
boy.
if this alien looking thing that looked like the demon from my nightmares came up, I would shoot it. Like, I'm not just gonna stand there. So,
But here's the question. Do the aliens have their own form, or do we perceive them differently based off of how we expect the aliens to look?
is this like an it thing?
We're not even sure
Ooh.
we know what demons look like. That's just a guess.
Well, I think we'd have to wait for the aliens to show up, and then we'll ask them, "Is this your true form?"
Using
Dear
English
listeners,
or
please
numbers?
send us an email of
Sign
what
language.
I'm talking to the listeners.
You owe me $12.
I do.
No, that's what you said to me.
Dear listeners, please send us an email of your best rendition of what an alien would look like, and we will compare and discuss in our next episode.
I'll
we all
draw
pick
it.
one.
I'll draw it with childlike. I will just draw it, and you won't. It'll be terrible. I can't wait.
Can you just finish one of the ideas that you were trying to say?
No, I was gonna say I was gonna draw it through a child's eyes, so like scribbles and like terrible line drawings, no details. Exactly.
That's that one painting, the one where he goes
Scream.
The Van Gogh.
My door
Good
wasn't
job.
open.
Wow, look at you guys go.
No. That's not accurate. That's not accurate at all.
I think it is. No, Picasso.
One of the things that I thought about when I was reading this was the Illyrian history from ACOTAR.
Yes.
So how they were othered because of their wings and how people didn't like them. And like every time I'm looking at it, I'm like, gosh.
This
like,
is
can you
for our
imagine?
Court of Thorns and Roses listeners only.
Our sub podcast. This is our sub podcast.
We have
The
5
podcast.
episodes. We already started a sub podcast, and I have no idea what's going on.
It's the podcast within the podcast. It's the ACOTAR fans come to this podcast to hear the smidgens of ACOTAR information in it. Just like that's why you started to listen to that last book and or read. So
Hey,
yeah,
I do want to tell you, we were completely wrong about every artist. Edvard Munch was the person who painted Scream.
Munch?
I've never heard of that. Munch. Am I just dumb?
Okay.
Is he German?
Listen. You're going to be
What?
surprised here, but Dean Munch is also a character in Scream Queens, so let's go back to the beginning. Scream Queens!
You remember that time that we played Uno when we were at the beach?
Yeah, that was awesome.
And I didn't care if any of us won until Kinsey really wanted to win.
Yeah.
And then all I wanted to do was win. I will never watch Scream Queens.
Just to spite your ass.
Just like she refuses to acknowledge my birthday on my birthday, even when I tell her to several times within the day.
Your birthday would never not be in July. I don't understand.
I will literally be like, Annie, you have anything to say to me? And she will leave me on red.
Not available. Out of town. Not a good day.
Think you are also a July baby. You just scream July.
I've never seen anybody who has the wrong birth. And you know what? It makes sense that you would have a wrong birthday. Of course your mom got that wrong.
Really?
For everyone who wants to know, her birthday's in March.
That's news to me.
Don't worry, listeners. I'll let you know. I like the time Annie got us all birthday candles with the wrong birthdays.
Mine said February.
I think that in 6 weeks, Oh, really? I thought it was January.
No, my birthday's in January, but my candle said February.
I think that again in 6 weeks, you guys should ask me when y'all's birthdays are and see how I answer then. See if it's different.
I'm going to ask you next week. You're going to forget.
That's fair. But Moose statue.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
beautiful moose statue. I cannot wait to be allowed to go back to my office so I can put it up.
Do you have it? How big is it compared to your head?
Oh, let's see.
Oh, we're on the move.
Oh.
How are we moving? Are we moving or is she? Are we walking?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
walking like a
You want it-
human.
Where'd I put it?
How many legs?
6.
Oh, less than spider, more than moose.
Oh, it's so
It's
small.
so flashy.
Hold, please.
You gotta put it in front of your body.
No, she doesn't want to cover any part of her being. Oh, so cute.
It really is cute. Look at the little moose.
That's Kayla.
Now you need to give him little name tags.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be in your office, though. That was for us to be in your office with you.
Annie.
That's me. I'm Daddy.
You are Big Daddy.
She's king. King of the cult.
I am king of the cult.
Oh, God.
So yeah, so that's my alien story. So that is what I have for you today. I appreciate you guys discussing how racist against aliens you would or would not be, and how we all think of humanity as helpless and despairing and all these other sad things like Kinsey. Basically, Kinsey's just projecting all of her emotions onto the rest of the world. But aside from that, it's heartbreaking.
But look how happy she is.
Oh, look how outwardly happy she is.
Dead inside.
Those meds do good.
Meds,
All right,
yeah,
so
meds.
next
Sponsored by Lexapro.
next podcast is gonna be
Me.
Kinsey.
Next
Do you want to?
No, next
Oh.
podcast is me. I haven't
Okay.
gotten to go yet.
Side note: if we're saying, are we gonna put these in order of how we do them, or are we gonna throw Kinsey's before mine so that we're pretending this is the 5th episode?
We can put Kinsey in front of you.
Yeah, I thought we were going to put Kinsey in front.
Yeah. So then it would be you.
So
Okay.
just pretend like you didn't say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then
I'll
who's going
edit
next
it.
week?
Kayla.
No, Kinsey. I
Yes.
love this.
My second story is titled Buried Alive.
Oh, teaser. Nice.
Buried alive.
I'm gonna hate this
I
one.
actually have things picked out.
Oh, so do I. I have done no research, but I am very interested in about that.
I have 3 out of my 5 stories researched. The other 2 I have picked out. Just gotta put them together. I'm gonna end recording so it can process.
Wait, you have to say bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Love you. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Get the fuck out of here.